Freddy Peralta is a New York Met. David Stern said, hold it, and go. Bo Bichette, Luis Robert, Freddy Peralta, in addition to what they did earlier this offseason. How do you like them now?
We'll see. Well, let's see. We have to see. Listen, I love the moves.
You're so tough to impress.
No, because, they lost Nimmo. They lost McNeil. Simeon they brought in.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming off a couple down years in a row. Bo Bichette, not known for his defense. Wasn't it all about run prevention? Bo Bichette's not known for his defense.
He should be better at third and second than he is at shortstop. They have 4 shortstops on the infield. I'm not saying they're going to have to learn.
I think I love all these moves. First of all, as a fan of baseball,
mm-hmm.
I love these moves. I love Bo Bichette move because I think he'll help their lineup. Luis Robert, they get a 1 year, no risk. I mean, $20 million to the Mets is not a lot of money. It is to most people, but not the Mets. Okay, and they get a motivated Luis Robert Jr. because it's his free agent year. And
that part I'm going to stop you.
Okay, sorry. He has
club option.
He has a club option.
People got so pissed when you said that yesterday.
Sorry. It's a prove it year for him.
It's a prove it right. They could keep him for 1 more year. It's not up to him.
Yes.
People were like fuming. I'm like, relax. Whatever. We already went over the option.
Whatever. Anyways. Okay. So he has a club option. But he wants him probably to pick it up. Because if he plays poorly, guess what? They're not going to pick it up. He's out the door. Now, if he plays well, they'll pick it up. And he still hits free agency like 30 years, 29, I think. So he hit it at 30. Whatever.
Yeah, he's got to start proving it.
Yes. So he needs to prove it for this year.
Could get a big deal in the future.
And then the Freddy Peralta deal with the way he pitched last year and the way he is in a clubhouse and the way he just happens to be as a human being. And he put him at the front of that rotation. I love it. Now, the National League is a bitch. Because you got the Phillies, the Mets, the Braves should be better. Oh, yeah, there's a team called the Cubs that did some stuff. And then there's the
big
bad Dodgers at the end that you have to get through to get to the World Series. So, listen, I love what the Mets are doing. I love how they pivoted from Kyle Tucker and they made all these other moves. You can call it panic signing Bo Bichette, but I like that move. And now here they are, and they got a chance, but they got to prove it.
Oh, man, also Kratz, the Cubs just won big on this trade. See ya, out of the division.
Yeah, 17 wins, just left the division. Team that won 97 games. You lose the guy who wins 17 of them. Yeah, big loss for the Brewers. Upgrade for the Central. The Pirates are like, hey, we don't have to face them anymore. The Phillies are like, all right, well, we couldn't figure out how to hit the Mets before. Now they actually added like a really good pitcher. It's going to probably be a little bit tougher. But Freddie P took that next step last year. This past season, really kind of figuring out how to pitch, and he found more success. Figuring out how to pitch in the sense that, he didn't have to empty his clip in the first inning. He could figure out how to mitigate through the lineup and then start working in, and when it was a bigger situation, his best pitches. That fastball up in the zone, that cutter or the fastball that's cutting a little bit more. And so I think the Mets are getting a fully refined pitcher who has figured out how to throw 30 to 32 starts.
Freddy Peralta 1, Nolan McLean 2, and then a mix of David Peterson, Clay Holmes, Sean Manaea, and Kodai Senga. Much better.
Short.
Mm-hmm.
Short.
You want one more?
Yeah, I think they need one more.
Did you forget Jonah Tang?
Oh, yeah, Jonah Tong, right.
Tang.
I mean, I don't think he'll start the year off up there. I think he'll be back in the minors, but projects as a potential mid-range starter.
Don't forget Tobias
if not
Myers.
A high-end starter in the future.
Let's not forget Tobias Myers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had some good moments.
He has.
In 24, he was really good for the Brewers. I think he lost a little favor because I don't know what they kind of thought at him. Obviously, they sent him to AAA last year, but I think that he can help also.
Yeah, up and down 5 times.
Yeah, he lost the strike zone, and they lost a little confidence in him. And listen, again, for the Mets, they gave up Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat. Does it hurt them? They have a good farm system. Their outfield set now. Their starting rotation is better. And plus, for those guys, Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat, guess what they get to go do? They're going to the big leagues. I mean, unless something crazy happens.
Jet, probably not right off the jump, but soon.
Yeah. And Sproat's probably going to maybe be in the rotation from the jump.
Could be. The Mets didn't have to give up their tippy top, though. I mean, McLean's already a big leaguer, but Jonah Tong is definitely rated higher than Brandon Sproat. Carson Benj is their top position player prospect. Jet Williams is a really nice player. I like this return for the Brewers better than their Corbin Burns return. They got
Okay.
Joey Ortiz, DL Hall, and a pick. I don't remember who he is the pick on, so I'll have to look back on that part. But if we're matching up those two players and these two players, I think that the upside is higher for these two players.
Okay.
So it's a nice return. But hey, we were talking a lot about the Yankees yesterday. Spencer Jones and Will Warren probably would have gotten this done. So I'm curious to find out what their final offer was. They were in on trying to get Freddie P, the Dodgers, among many other teams. Anybody could have acquired Freddie P.
You said it doesn't get it done, Will Warren and Spencer Jones.
I said that?
No.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I said that was too much.
Oh,
And guess what? I think the Yankees did too.
okay.
That package is better than what the Mets would have offered just now. Spencer Jones has higher upside than Jet Williams, and Will Warren's a more proven starter with, I think, a higher upside as a starter than Brendan Sproat.
Okay.
So
We'll see.
anybody could have had him, Kratz. I want to throw that out there. It's like, oh, it's no fair. First of all, the Mets haven't made the playoffs the last 3 years, but Freddy Peralta costs $8 million. And also, I do want to push back later on when we talk to Kurt Hogue for the Brewers side of things. The Brewers could afford Freddy Peralta in their payroll. They just choose to trade guys away when they're a year or two from free agency. Not Willy Adames, but most others get dealt. They don't have to do that. They choose to not fully push chips in on a year in, year out basis. So we might be at a point next postseason where we're like, they're a starter short. And you're like, man, they could use a Freddy Peralta. Or several years ago, they're a starter short. They need a one. Oh, Corbin Burns. But that's the choice that they make to keep pushing it forward. Is it worth it? You know what? In my mind, Kratz, I don't know if it's worth it. What was it worth it for them? Does Corbin Burns change their season versus what DL Hall and Joey Ortiz are bringing to them?
I mean, they stayed in the playoffs, so I get the argument, but I can only go by like my own view as a player. And I've told this story before. 2018, they asked me, would you trade, at the time, Corbin Burns and Big Woo, Brandon Woodruff, were just coming up to the big leagues. They were integral parts of our bullpen, but Big Woo, wasn't necessarily established yet, but he had a couple cups of coffee, but was on the roster, and Corbin Burns was solidified into the bullpen. And they asked me, they said, would you trade those two guys for 2 months of Jacob deGrom? And I did the math in my head. Okay, these guys would play whatever, throw this many innings. deGrom would throw this many innings. At that point, everyone's like, he's a Cy Young candidate. I'll tell you what, I would love to have a ring in my closet from the Brewers 2018 team. And I think Jacob deGrom being an extra starter with Jhoulys Chacin, with, the other guys that we were running out there, I would like to have that ring. And if you think that guy gets you that ring, then you keep Freddy Peralta. If they don't, maybe that's why they trade him. And they say, hey, you know what? It's not worth sticking with this guy and going all in for this season.
There's a steadiness from many front offices to maintain, I don't want to say status quo, but it's like, hey, let's just be competitive. Let's take another bite at the apple.
A lot of front offices say, if we can just get in. We don't necessarily need to win. If we just get in, it'll appease everybody. It keeps my job. Hey, look, we got into the play.
Then it's a crapshoot.
I use the Reds, for example, right? The Reds got in this year. Now, you can say the Reds played great or the Mets choked, depending on what fan base you're a fan of, right? They had no chance against the Dodgers. I mean, they got bushwhacked twice by them in those two games. I mean, they got whatever you want to say, right?
Sure.
And so is it just good enough that they got in to appease the fan base and appease and say, hey, we got in with 83 wins. Look at us. Or how many, I don't know how many wins it was, whatever it was. It wasn't any more than that. Hey, guys, we got in. Woohoo, look at us go. Right? Or do you need to be the team that is saying, all right, we actually are trying to win the World Series, not just if we get in, we never know. Everyone looks at the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks got in, they beat the Phillies, and then they lost to the Rangers in the World Series.
They had a chance.
They had a chance, right? But how many times does that really happen?
And this is a perfect example.
How many times does that honestly happen?
But you just actually teed me up. The Diamondbacks were very much in the running for Jordan Montgomery and didn't offer the prospect capital to win him over in a trade. Jordan Montgomery is
Beat 'em.
part of the Rangers
Mhm.
who beat the Diamondbacks in the World Series. And it is the one move that Mike Hazen still says, and I've mentioned it 5 times on this show, he kicks himself about. Montgomery was a dude in that postseason.
How many World Series have the Brewers won?
0.
Okay. I'll use the Mariners from last year. Now, I'm sure there was a move out there, and listen, they were very good. They were really close to beating the Blue Jays and all that. One hanging slider away from beating the Blue Jays, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's say they would have made one more move. Now, I don't know what that move is. They went and Naylor,
Bullpen.
they got Suarez. Okay, whatever that move is.
Duran.
Okay, fine. Pick. I must again. And they get to the World Series and they win that World Series. All the prospects they traded away.
I don't
Do you think
care.
that anybody gives a shit?
Nope.
Not one person gives a shit about that. Oh, because then the next year they might not be, 3 years from now, they might not be as good. Nobody cares.
This is
I
what I'm
promise you
talking
nobody
about.
cares.
Yeah, if the Brewers win a World Series, you can be bad for the next 5 years and say, hey, we had to tear it down and start up and whatever. And fans would be like, cool, we won a freaking World Series.
And also, like, everyone looks at the Tatis for James Shields. That's like the ultimate, like, oh, we didn't win, well, I can't believe we made that move. Well, the reason it looks at such a bad move is because the White Sox never became good after that, and they gave up a player that they could have had for the next 10 to 12 years. That's why they never won. Now, if the White Sox would have gone out and won with that team that they had with Sale and all those guys before that, then people would have been like, oh, man, that was totally worth it. Shields, look how good big game James was for us and this and that. But because he never worked out and they didn't go anywhere in the postseason, people are like, oh, what a bad trade.
Aroldis Chapman for Gleyber Torres. All day. Cubs
100%.
fans all day.
And the Yankees never won because of that trade.
Right. They didn't win a World Series with him.
Yankees haven't won a World Series.
Yeah. And the modern move.
And that year they weren't winning with Torres or with Chapman.
No, the modern move they bring up is Pete Crow Armstrong and the Javi Baez deal, but also sometimes you just make a bad deal. It happens.